Hello everyone, Creative Fun here, back again, and we're still in the MD-82 in X-Plane 11. And we can see here this aircraft has changed. I was pretty sure it was a 747, and this is obviously not a 747, it's an MD-11 perhaps? Yes. So that's changed, that's new. We have just reloaded the scene that we finished off on in last episode, so we are about ready to taxi to runway and take off. The weather has been reloaded to the actual current weather. Hasn't changed much though, but might change a little bit since last time. Wind is basically the same. We're going to set the QNH before we take off, and you can get that from the same weather information as I looked on earlier, the little yellow box when you hover your mouse over the airport in the Sky Vector. The website, skywector.com. So it's the number that says Q first, and it's 4 digits. So in this case it's Q109. So we're gonna just dial the QNH back here. So it's 109. That's fine. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead. Let's see if we can taxi to runway. So I have an error here, it's a structure over G. I'm pretty sure we're not structure over G right here, so it's a little bit buggy times, especially when you reload an aircraft. So we're just going to pretend that that's not flashing up there and that everything is fine. So as we're taxiing here, let's just make sure we're doing everything correctly. Everything seems fine. We're going to do a checklist right before we taxi out to the runway. To make sure that everything is done. Now, of course, if you're doing like this completely full realism, you would have like tons of checklists and procedures to go through. I try to keep it like, I want to keep it realistic, but I still don't want to overdo it, so to speak. There's plenty of fun things to be had still, and I have still not mastered flying the MD-80 at all. So there's still plenty of me to learn. So we're here at the end of the runway, and as we enter runway, I'm just gonna do a quick checklist to see here we're on the line here. Let's turn in and then let's brake here. Oh, we have done a brake shake at least. Power throttle back a bit, and let's see here now. I'm just gonna go through the checklist here. APU off. APU is off. Lights are correct. We're going to turn on these lights here, wingtip lights. Flaps, we're going to set our flaps. We're going to do flaps 15 today, and when we do flaps 15, well, let's check the limit speed here. Slats extend the flaps down 15, maximum indicated airspeed is 240. So we're actually going to dial this back a bit here so we don't exceed. You can see now the weather is reloading, and it kind of jumps a little bit like this. That's a thing I'm not too fond of. I'm going to dial it back a little bit further. Let's go with 235 to make sure. Our speed limit is 250. I'm going to dial it back up to 250 as soon as we have gone flaps up. But you don't want to risk overextending the speed on the flaps. That generally doesn't turn out very well. So that's good. What's more here? V-speed check. Our V-speed, we're going to have a descent of 1,500, or a climb of 1,500 meters per 1,500 feet per minute. And let's see here now. Flight director, we are going to check speed. Speed is set. Heading set. We are in heading select and vertical speed. Altitude is 4,000. It's the first altitude we're going to be cleared for. That's good. QNH set, and galley power on. Galley power is on. So we're cleared for takeoff. Let's roll out to the runway. Okay, so everything is set. Let's just switch to FMS here to legs. Good. No, legs. There we go. Legs. There we go. Legs. Perfect. Okay, so let's take off. We go what I believe is called toga, full throttle maybe. Speeding up here. We're gonna keep the airplane, trying to keep a plane very steady. Usually it drifts a little bit depending on the wind, so we need to make sure it's straight on the runway. Once we reach around 140, we are going to pull up. airspeed around 140, rotate, and around 160 we should take off. A bit heavy, but we are in the air. Good. Turn on auto throttle. There we go. And auto throttle is going to keep us at speed. Gear up. Let's do our after takeoff checklist as we try to follow the flight director here. Gears up. Flaps. Let's bring the flaps up. One step here. So it's easy for us to gain a little bit of speed. We are going to switch to nav track, and we did it by pressing FMS, I believe. So we're following nav, and we're still climbing a little bit low on the climb here. I'm gonna pull up my flaps one more time. Oh, they're up, good. We are going to trim the aircraft a little bit. I have the trim set to my HOTAS, so I can do it without letting go of anything, which is good. So what we're trying to do now is just follow this little flight director here, helping us navigate out. Seems to be going well. So let's see, trim is done. So we are pretty good here. We're climbing, positive rate, we're climbing pretty good here. We are navigating fine. So we're gonna bring the speed up here actually. I'm gonna switch the view to the front view here. And we're going to bring her up to 250, which is the max allowed speed we can traverse here. Will give us a bit quicker movement here. The climb so far is okay. We're only clear to 4,000 feet until we leave the airspace of the Bergen Airport so far. So we're gonna keep going. As you can see, even in stock, this looks pretty nice, I would say. The clouds here are pretty decent as well. So I think like even for stock aircraft and stock scenery, this is not bad in my opinion. So there's plenty of fun to be had in this. So we are still climbing and we're doing pretty good, I would say. The auto throttle is really convenient, being able to set an airspeed. It takes a lot of the workload away actually. So we're coming up to our first waypoint here, and then this should start jumping and we should start moving. This is extremely useful when we're passing through the cloud coverage here. So, and there we have Norway. Bergen, I think we have Bergen City right over there. So I'm going to turn here and we're going to enter the clouds very soon. So just following this flight director, we're going to turn pretty neatly here, no problem. We're doing it at a good speed as well. The flight system is very good at maintaining speed. And we have arrived at 4,000. As you can see here now, the flight director levels out. It goes automatically altitude hold, which is very nice actually. So just by following flight director, we're gonna keep maintaining speed here and doing just fine. Especially now going through the clouds here, as I said, being able to just follow the navigational route here is extremely useful. Next waypoint here, we have to turn. And we're having actually quite a lovely takeoff in my opinion. So we're done the checklist, we have everything set up, so all we have to do now is basically fly the aircraft to its destination. So once I pass the waypoint here and we're heading towards our first entry into the airways, I am probably going to cut the video and we're going to see each other again when we arrive. Actually, I'm going to bring up the lights so we don't need this. We're going to see each other once I'm on approach to Gardemoen, because the cruise itself is not very interesting, to be honest. Basically autopilot takes care of the most of it as well, so there won't be much to do, to be honest. So we're doing just fine here in the clouds, maintaining altitude. The aircraft is sufficiently trimmed and the clouds are just whooshing by. I guess we broke through some cloud coverage here with the sun showing up. So we're now turning towards our final waypoint before we go towards GoCap, and as we're going to start our climb. And this aircraft flies fairly nice, I should say. Nothing amazing. I do believe that the payware aircrafts I've tried out so far are far more interesting to fly. But that being said, now if this is your first entry into like proper airline simulation, I think it's a good start. The 737 is also very nice. So this one or 737 are good starts if you want to try to make some short commercial flights, absolutely. So we're going to start our climb here. So first and foremost, I'm going to turn on the autopilot and it's going to fly the aircraft for me. So I can release my controls here, and then we are going to set our climb vector here. So I'm going to want to climb up to around, we don't need that high of a climb. Let's start with 2000. I'm going to set this immediately to, as you can see, it's quite hilly here in Norway, so with 4000 is kind of like, you know, the altitude you have to absolutely be at, otherwise you're going to smash into the ground. So anyway, I'm going to start the climb very soon here. Actually, I'm going to start it now. I'm going to click here on vertical speed, and the aircraft is going to try to reach this altitude using this vertical speed, or still maintaining this speed as well. We're still into speed restrictions. They won't lift up until we reach our waypoint GoCab here. So we're going to maintain 250, but maintaining 250 in a climb, that's pretty good. So we're just going to keep holding here until we reach our final flight level, which should be 270. So we're climbing for the clouds here. Broken clouds, is that what it's called, this type of weather? It looks pretty nice though. And once again, I know I said this many times, but this is just 100% stock, clean install of X-Plane. And this is kind of how it looks like. Oh, by the way, don't worry about the structure overg. I think that's a bug. When I reload the aircraft, for some reason it shows up. The aircraft is totally fine. So we're climbing steadily here. As soon as we reach for this waypoint, I'm actually going to increase speed. I do believe that speed restrictions doesn't apply once we have passed this waypoint here. And I am going to increase our vertical climb. That means we're just going to add a little bit more thrust, and we're still going to maintain the 250 knot speed. So we're going to climb pretty good here, I believe. So the speeds, maybe the speed restrictions, I believe maybe the speed restrictions applies to the altitude as well. So maybe flight level 10,000 or 100, flight level 100. Is when we can start increasing our speed. So anyway, I'll see you guys in, well, for you guys it will be just a shortcut, and we'll be on approach for Gardemoen. We're going to look at aligning us with the ILS, which this aircraft is absolutely equipped with. And we're just going to bring her down, hopefully safely, at Gardemoen Airport. And we're going to have a look at how that airport looks compared to Bergen. Remember, Gardemoen is the largest, and it's this central international hub for Norway. So it is attached to the capital of Norway as well. So anyway, I'll see you guys in a few seconds, or in my case about half an hour. and we'll have some more fun trying to land this bird. Okay, so we are on our final approach for Gardemoen, and we are just about to descend to 5,000 feet. I'm adjusting the autopilot right now. So as soon as that's adjusted, I'm going to enable vertical navigation. Oh, we went past a little bit. Let's go up a little bit more. That is good. And let's start descending. Initiate vertical speed. We'll see there. Let's start descending. We're going to turn on seatbelt sign, and we're going to slow down to around 200 knots here on there. So now it's time for us to actually try to break through the cloud coverage here. We have our approach here. We are heading towards Valpo, which is our final point for turning into a runway. And then we're basically just going to try to capture the ILS glide slope. And once we've done that, we will descend and land. So generally, even in this stock configuration aircraft, it's quite busy right before you land, making sure you've done everything. I'm going to go and check through a couple of things here first. Let's see, we're not quite ready to do the gears yet, but we are going to bring down the flaps a notch. We're on 230 knots, so it's safe limits for 11-degree flaps. So we're going to drop down some flaps. That's going to help us to slow down quite a lot, actually. Did our flaps go down? No, we need to go one more step. There we go. It was up in a lock position. So here we go. See, we're gonna climb. The autopilot's gonna adjust momentarily here, trimming ourselves down again. But it's gonna slow us down quite considerably. Makes it easier for us to do approach. Everything else looks good. I'm gonna turn on our lights here, exterior lights, for the final approach here. We're still a little bit ways up, but you can see we're getting quite closer, and you can see it's reloading the weather, and it still bugs me when it does that, because it is a little bit immersion breaking. You're in the clouds, suddenly everything just disappears and reloads. It's fast, but still it's a little bit annoying. Anyway, we're on our way down here, and we're descending in a pretty decent angle. I believe we're around, we should maintain like a 2.5 degree angle, and I think we're doing just that. That's a descent of minus 1,500 feet per minute, so that's pretty nice. We are heading down. We're going to reach our target altitude very easily. And we are maintaining around 220, 250 knots. We're still within the speed limitations here, so that's absolutely no problem whatsoever. Now, my job here is going to make sure the flight director does what I wanted to do and keep a sharp eye on the airplane so it doesn't do anything stupid. Flying through cloud coverage like this is very disorienting if you're flying by stick. So I tend to trust the autopilot when I cannot see the ground, but when I can see the ground, I tend to prefer my own input. But we're going to see here, we're going to use the autopilot for as long as we can. So we're set here at 5,000, and we are going to descend. We're going to reach 5,000 very shortly here. And then we're going to reach as soon as we level out, our target speed is going to be around 200 almost immediately. So that is good. Usually you want to touch down the MD-80 around 140 knots, so that's my target speed for touchdown. Generally, if you're going by the book landing, it should be perhaps 145. I believe we have some rain here actually. It's a little bit rainy. We can see the raindrops here. It might be a little bit difficult to see on YouTube with the compression and all, but there's definitely rain here, and we can clearly hear it. I hope the audio is good enough so you actually can hear me through the noise here. It's not that loud, I think. So you can see here we're leveling out. The engines are powering up to maintain speed because we have the flaps out. We are going to put down flaps 15 pretty soon, actually, once we turn towards our final approach here. Try to get the glide slope. We're going to descend now to 3,000, so we're going to do this again. Pull ourselves down to 3,000. Oh no. Autopilot on, please. Autopilot on. So 3000 vertical speed is going to be, we're gonna go 1300 here. We're gonna see the autopilot's adjusting. Yes, it's slowing down. We are also going to extend our flaps one more notch here, and we're gonna pull down the speed a little bit. Actually, we're gonna go down to 180. The real life MD-80 and the more high quality payware MD-80 usually loses speed a lot faster than this stock aircraft, so I need to manage my speed pretty carefully here because I don't want to overspeed. It's better to come in a little bit below than above. You can see here we're still, you know, pretty fast actually, despite our restrictions here. I'm gonna make sure that the auto throttle is on. There we go. Good. We don't want to overspeed at all. 240. I will still within 240, so as long as we don't go faster than that, that's fine. You see here the speed is coming down a bit. What's the next step? 195. So we want to be 195 to drop down the flaps next level. We can bring down the gears pretty much whenever we want because it's 300 knots indicated airspeed. So we can be pretty late with the gears. And actually, we're going to drop down the gears now, I think. So that's done. Let's go through a final. We're on the final approach now here. Let's go through the checklist. Gears down, flaps down, VREF speed, we don't set that. ILS is set, and we are trying to locate the glide slope here. Hopefully we'll end up with that one pretty soon. We're currently on 3000 drop line, but we're actually going to drop down the speed a little bit here. We're going to set it down to 720, which is our landing reference. We're also going to set our Q and H. It's very important, so we actually end up landing on the correct altitude here. So you can see there's quite a lot of things to do. Oh, of course I managed to push that. It's okay. Vertical speed. Keep descending, please. Vertical speed. Nav track, altitude, that's fine. We are still going down. Gears are down. We're well below 185, I believe. So we're going to extend the flaps one more notch. That's going to increase us. And we have the runway right there, right through the clouds. That's nice. That's exactly where we want it to be. Wonderful. Autopilot is set accordingly. We are gonna pitch up a little bit here so we don't lose too much altitude. Around there is nice. We are gonna drop down the speed even more. We want to be around 140 when we touch down, so I'm gonna set here around 143. It feels good. We are down. We still have no glide slope here. I would hope that we'll get the glide slope. I believe I set this correctly, but we might not. We might have to land this manually without the ILS, but that's fine. We have visual on the runway there. We're going straight to it. You can see here the wind is grabbing us quite heavily actually. See, we just got a bit of a twitch there, so it's quite windy. The autopilot is trying to adjust, but we're doing fine. We're a little bit fast still. We're going down the speed. I'm gonna actually increase speed a little bit here. 145. Might better come in a little bit more power so we can actually bring her down safely. Gonna see if I click ILS here. We have glide slope, alternate nav track. We don't have the glide slope just yet, so we're gonna disengage that and maintain the vertical speed and nav track here. And I'm gonna bring her down manually as soon as I feel comfortable taking command. We're gonna zoom in a little bit here and check and see. We're still there, I believe a little bit high. We're going to take command momentarily here. I'm going to maintain the speed though. I'm going to turn off the autopilot here, so I have control. We're going to adjust the pitch here. You can see we're a little bit low. We're going to climb up a bit here. Make sure it's a bit windy. I can see how it grabs a hold of my aircraft. So we're going to go up a little bit here. I might be needing to, I'm going to turn off the auto throttle and throttle up myself here. That's fine. I'm also going to extend final flaps here. We're a little bit low, so we're definitely going to pull up a little bit here. Can't always trust the autopilot, but we're down here. It seems good enough. Going to pull back on the throttle a little bit here now, so because we managed to get up to the correct altitude here. I'm also going to switch very close quickly before here and arm my, there we go, arm the brakes. So let's hope I don't crash. If I crash, I'm going to just leave it in the video and we're going to restart in this airport when we fly back again anyway. So, but we're doing sort of fine, I would say. Speed is a little bit high. I'm going to throttle back here, that's good. maybe turn on the auto throttle here. Very windy actually, it's throwing me back and forward here, but we are going down now and pretty good. We're a little bit on the left side here. Ooh, let's just turn. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Ooh, we're going down now. Let's put her down gently. Oh, I think we're down. It's good. Thrust reverser, full power. And we're braking. Let's release the brakes a little bit. Ooh, that's good. Thrust reverser's off. And we're down. So a little bit shaky landing, but I think we put her down pretty nicely actually. A little bit of hands-on flying with me there. For some reason we couldn't catch the ILS. Usually you get the ILS information from the FMS, but this time I didn't have the information. I'm pretty sure I set this correctly. We're on the runway right? I believe we are on the right runway. Oh, we were supposed to turn here. It's okay. There we go. Fine, absolutely fine. So we're gonna flip this up. We are going to turn on anti-collision, not that one, anti-collision, please. There we go. And oh, can I please that one go? Thank you very much. So there we go. We're gonna see if we can taxi in here. And as you can see, once again, this is a pretty flat runway. The lights are nice though, but it's just flat. And that's kind of like what you get unless you're flying from some major airports. This is kind of like the scenery you get when you fly with X-Plane. I'll give it the credit where credit is due. It's actually a very nice cloud, I would say. I think the cloud and weather effects are very nice, and it does feel like very dynamic when you're going down. I could feel the wind taking hold of the aircraft, moving me back and forward and so on. So I don't know if this is a gate. Maybe here we got some gates over here. Does this look like an area with gates? Sure it does. We follow a yellow line here and see if we can stop somewhere. So we're gonna do at least one more part, maybe two more parts of this series. Next part, we're actually gonna have a look at how X-Plane can look like if you stack it up with a bunch of payware and free scenery add-ons. So we're gonna have a look a little bit where you can find these add-ons and how you go about installing them. It's pretty easy, I would say, but it's very time consuming to faff around with that. But we're gonna have a look at that as well. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.